to his wheelchair, started to perspire very heavily in a cold sweat, and his lips turned blue. He asked for the wheelchair to be removed, as though he had no further use for it, and began to say continuously, Jesu Maria. Looking straight ahead, he said, "What is that?" "A photo of your mother," I replied. "But I see two mothers," he said. Thinking his sight was failing, I explained that there were other photos too, including his American friend Mary, who had recently died. "I see those clearly," he said, "yet still see two mothers." Again he started to repeat, Jesu Maria. As I made to leave his cell for assistance, he called me back, saying, "Do not trouble anyone else." I insisted, however, and went to find Father Joseph Pius and asked him to get his doctor, Dr. Sala. Dr. Sala and his colleagues arrived, and I went to bring the other friars. Padre Pio continued to repeat, Jesu Maria, right up to his last breath, when at 2:30 a.m. he gently bowed his head and gave up his spirit. The wounds of his feet, hands and side had begun to heal during the recent months. During that last Mass, the healing became complete. His dead body showed not a single scar or mark. He was already sharing his Saviour's resurrection. Padre Pio was buried in this tomb, in the new, larger church, a tomb finished only a few days previously, surrounded by the thousands of pilgrims who were still in San Giovanni. How wonderfully God seems to arrange these things. As a young friar, walking in the fields surrounding Pietrelcina, he had prophesied that they would one day be filled with the odor of incense and the chanting of monks. On that spot, a seminary was built 30 years later, through the generosity of an American lady, Mary Pyle, who helped with English-speaking pilgrims for many years in her house near the friary. Her assistant, Carmela, will always remember what Padre Pio said to her shortly before his death. Carmela is saying that she asked Padre Pio what they would do after he had gone. Padre Pio said, "Go on as you have done before, but remember, I can do much more for all of you from heaven than I can here on earth." In his lifetime, he heard countless confessions and is truly called the Padre of the Confessional. But, as he said to Carmela, his real work would begin after his death. He had planned a vast and much-needed hospital, which was completed in his lifetime. Other works include a home for sick priests, a home for spastics, and a spectacular Way of the Cross was constructed. Here, he is depicted as Simon of Cyrene, the man taken from the crowd to help bear Christ's cross to Calvary. Padre Gerardo described Padre Pio as the greatest mystic of our century. At a Padre Pio celebration day in Ireland, Father Jack McCardle had this to say.
Padre Pio wasn't defending what he was saying, he proclaimed it. And you were free to walk away. When you stop defending it, they'll stop attacking it. And I couldn't imagine a young person, in person, contradicting Padre Pio. He may have to walk away eventually, because he may not be able to take it. But he's going to be forced to a decision, to a response.
That he was really a man of God. You could feel God's presence in that man.
Non vi lascerò orfani, ritornerò da voi. Il tempo pasquale, cari fratelli e sorelle di San Giovanni Rotondo.
On the occasion of his visit to San Giovanni Rotondo in 1987, the Holy Father said, "I wish to thank the Lord with you for having given Padre Pio to this generation in this very tormented century. In his love for God and for his brothers, he is a sign of great hope, and he invites us all not to leave him alone in this mission of charity." The cause of Padre Pio's beatification was officially opened in 1983, the decree being signed by Pope John Paul II, who had long been a devotee of the man baptized Francesco Forgione. Pray, hope, and don't worry.